Right, in this vid I'm just going to take you through the tools and equipment you're going to need to make your own nets. Firstly, the twine. This one is hemp. I absolutely love working with this stuff. This is my choice material for my nets. The advantages of hemp is it's strong to start with, it's easy to work with, it's great on the hands when you're pulling your knots, and also it only requires a single knot, which I'll go into that a bit later because the old nylon needs a double knot. The disadvantage is it's quite expensive, and also it's not rot proof. This stuff does not like the wet. You can use it out in the wet, out in the field, but to store it you've got to dry it. You've got to dry it out before you store it because it will rot. Otherwise, excellent stuff. Next, we've got nylon. Just show you that. The advantages of this stuff, it's strong again. You can see that. I don't know if you can. Yep, just about see it. It's cheaper than hemp. You get more on a reel. And with this stuff, it is rot proof. This stuff doesn't bother with the weather. Doesn't mind getting wet. You can chuck it in the way, chuck it in the bag, store it away when it's wet, and it will come to no harm. The disadvantages of this is that it's a bit fiddly to work with, being that it's so thin. It's a bit harsh on your hands, you know, when you're pulling your knots, and also requires a double knot. This stuff, unlike hemp, requires just a single knot. This requires a double knot, otherwise your knots are going to slip. And it comes in two thicknesses. This is 4Z, which is a thinner one, and it also comes in 6Z, which is slightly thicker, and that's your nylon. Right, next we've got your needles. Just depends on what sort of size net you're making. If you're making a small, say rat net, rat purse net, fishing net or whatever, that's got very fine meshes, which you use your little net, and then you go up to your big net. If you're using something, if you're making a hammock, anything like that, anything that's got big meshes, use a big net needle. For rabbiting, for rabbit nets, long nets, purse nets, this is the baby you're going to use. It's the 8-inch net needle. So use that one there. That's them. And then next we got your mesh stick. Right, the size of your mesh stick governs the size of your net. The mesh of your net. The smaller your mesh stick, the finer, the smaller the mesh on your net. You can make these any size you want, doesn't matter what. You can use, hang on, if you just get some of these. I use hardwood. You can make them out of anything you want. Actually, these are just bits of wood they've not been prepared yet. You know, you've got to just sand the edges, make it all nice and smooth. I use hardwood. As I say, you can make them out of anything you want. These are bits of ply. That's about 1 inch. That's about 2 inch, 2 1/4, say. Just smooth the edges. About 4-5 inches in length. But as I say, the actual width governs the actual mesh size on your net. If you're using if you want to make a rat net, say, you'd use something like that, a little small, you'd get very fine meshes on them. For rabbits, use 2, 2 1/4, be perfect. And that's your meshes. And lastly, you got your rings. This is 1 inch ring, become 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch for rabbits, long nets, purse nets, gate nets. You'd use 1 inch ring like that. For fox nets, or as I say, a hammock, something strong, you'd use 2 inch net, something like that. And that's your net. So So I've just gone through the basics of your tools, and in my next video I'll go into a bit more detail of how to load your needle, and I'll show you how to start making your own nets.